Get it together, you stupid Quebecers. Like, you know what? I'm going to put it out there. I think Montreal and Quebec will drop it right below Buffalo.
Below Buffalo?
Below.
Oh,
Buffalo's
man.
gritty and grimy, but Montreal's just scum. Like, they are just Quebec, not just Montreal. All of Quebec.
Harsh word.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of the ScruffCast. I almost didn't remember what episode it was. I had to look at our show notes there. I'm Dan.
And I'm John.
So, today, after our week hiatus of... it was just vacations, really. That's the only excuse we have.
We gotta relax. We gotta be refreshed. We gotta bring our A game to the listeners. And sometimes, we gotta take a break.
And to be completely honest with you guys, I would have done it myself, maybe even had a guest host, but I don't know how to load any of this stuff onto the internet for you guys to hear it. That's what John does here. So that's really the reason there was none.
It's a 50-50 team, and my 50% was away, so you couldn't do it then.
I couldn't handle it. So, we're back from Chicago. Obviously, we've been back for a bit now, but I guess we'll go back and we'll look at that email we got from our Chicago fan.
Yes, on the last episode, before we left, we got an email with some suggestions of things we should try, stuff we should do while we were there. And we'll have a run through and see what did we do and what did we think.
Take
it away, Dan.
Okay. So first, Navy Pier. He said to go to the Navy Pier. You want to reread his email?
Yeah, maybe give the listeners some context in case for some reason they didn't listen to that episode. I don't know why they wouldn't. How can you just jump right into episode 16 without listening to the previous ones? But
all right.
Maybe if we read the email, give them a little bit of context.
Okay,
for
so
those new listeners.
This is it for Navy Pier. He says, head up to Navy Pier for a hypothermia-induced view of Lake Michigan during the famously warm Chicago April.
That was a lie. It was famously not warm.
Yeah, I think he was kind of,
being a little tongue-in-cheek there.
Yeah. It was cold, but we did avoid any kind of snow and stuff. The weather's been pretty nuts here.
It was a little rainy, but...
rainy the first day, but that was kind of it. So we didn't go to Navy Pier.
No.
Which is funny because it was probably, a 5-minute walk from where we were staying.
Yeah, it wasn't very far
super
at
close, but we didn't even end up going. But yeah, it was cold. All right, what else? What else do you have on here?
The
we got
next
walk
item.
along the boardwalk to the zoo that locals describe as opened on weekends. We also didn't do that.
No.
We took none of this guy's advice.
For
pretty
2.
much. All right. Head into the city for a meal from one of the dozens of restaurants claiming to have the best deep dish pizza in Chicago and find out just how many local TV stations are willing to be bribed to award that coveted title.
Now this, we did plenty of times. Enough to offset the things on the list we didn't do.
We did plenty of deep dish pizza eating. And it is funny because where we were staying at our friend's house, there was a pizza place at the bottom of his building that advertised, it was I think it was a radio station.
It said I don't know, WQXK, the Hungry Hound.
Yeah, it's
I don't remember
rated
the letters.
best deep dish in Chicago.
But
so
it was the Hungry Hound.
This guy was right. They do say stuff like that, but the deep. Okay, we're gonna get into the deep dish after, but
that could be its own. We could have our own
podcast about deep
episode
dish.
just about deep dish. Yeah.
Okay. Visit one of Chicago's famous jazz clubs and gain a new appreciation for the often misunderstood art of not actually knowing how to play an instrument properly and calling it jazz. We did not do that.
Well, yeah, none of that.
No jazz clubs. No clubs really at all.
No.
Not for us. And finally, fight over the couch and a lumpy air mattress supplied by your gracious host for the week and have an amazing time in spite of it all. There was not really much fighting for the air mattresses and the couch.
But we did have a good time.
We did have a good time, in spite of it all.
So, I believe the only suggestion we actually took him up on was the deep dish pizza.
Yeah, which we were going to do regardless if we got that email or not.
As was noted in the last episode of the podcast, was titled Deep Dishin'.
But
that's what we did.
Our good friend there and his girlfriend gave us a lot of other suggestions for places to go visit. So, actually, his girlfriend was really, she was on the ball with, restaurants and stuff like that. The food we had was insane. But first off, we went to the Willis Tower.
Yes.
Which is Chicago's largest, kind of skyscraper, I guess. I think it's a little bit smaller than the CN Tower.
I don't know where it is in relation to the CN Tower, but I do know that the observation deck there was 103 stories, and the CN Tower's like glass floor is 73 stories or 72 stories. So it's about 30 stories taller. So it's pretty high.
We went up to that observation deck, and they had it was like a glass floor, but it was a glass box that went off of the side of the building, like a little, I don't know. How big?
Like a little glass cube, maybe like 5 feet.
Yeah,
out from
5
the side
feet out. Yeah, from the side of the building. And so you go in there, and they have like a professional camera that takes pictures, and you can also take pictures. And that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah, waiting in line, you're like, no, it's not that bad. And then you kind of get closer to the edge where the glass floor starts, and then all of a sudden you're like kind of timid.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I mentioned this while we were there, and then I looked it up after the fact we came back.
Yeah,
there was time, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where people were in that box, and it actually, the protective layer of glass in the box cracked.
Oh, so it was that.
So it was that.
Oh
yes.
my god! If I had known this stuff before, and there was also a few other facts too. Like there was the, it was made of like 2 pieces of like 3-inch glass or something.
Yeah, I think it was like actually 3 pieces of glass.
3 pieces of glass.
And the first glass on the inside is just structural, is just protective, and the other 2 are structural. And it's that protective one that cracked.
Oh my god!
So then they had it replaced and stuff. But so people went out there and they were standing in the box, and then the glass below them cracked.
That's terrifying,
right? And they were fine because it was just a protective piece of glass. But yeah, I can imagine you start shitting your pants.
And then we also found out a fact that it can only hold 10,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, the CN Tower's glass floor can hold like 17 elephants, and this thing can only hold 10,000 pounds? Are you kidding me?
Well,
if I would have known this stuff before, I would have never gone on there. Never, ever.
I know, and you can't even fit 17 elephants in that cube, so we would have been extra safe.
You could barely fit 4 of us little elephants in there. Yeah, like...
Yeah, I saw a thing when I was searching for this Willis Tower glass cracking story. I saw another article that was talking about a bridge that they have in China that's made of glass. When you're walking across the bridge, the floor of it actually plays like a video. There's kind of like a projection screen underneath the glass that plays a video and makes sounds of the glass cracking where you're stepping.
I've seen that before.
Which is just terrifying because in the video you see the people walking across the bridge and they start freaking out and start shuffling. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They have no reason to believe this bridge would be playing a video underneath.
Yeah,
that's a funny story.
That's evil. Yeah, but the Willis Tower, besides the observation deck, I mean, I think it's just an office building, so it's nothing else to really see there. But you get a good view of Chicago because you're pretty high up in the air. But what's like a little creepy is like, I don't know, maybe it just like gets in your head, but it almost feels like you can feel the building sway. You know what I mean?
I think you could definitely tell, like when we were in the elevator going up, which the elevator ride itself was like, at least a minute, maybe 90 seconds.
Oh yeah,
it was quite a way up. And you could feel the building sort of starting to sway because when you're that high up, like the buildings do sway with the wind.
they're built to like. I mean,
it's the Windy City. It's windy.
Oh, it was windy that whole time there too. No
Speaking
joke.
of it being windy, something we didn't anticipate before we went there is because it's so windy. Almost all of the doors you go through there are revolving doors.
Oh my god, we didn't even write that down.
We didn't even write it down in our show notes.
I totally forgot about that. Everything's a revolving door. Like here we have like the odd one in a hotel of this. No, it's like you go into a grocery store, a convenience store. It doesn't matter.
Dunkin' Donuts.
We didn't go into the suburbs, but I'm sure even those people's houses have revolving doors, for God's sakes.
It was 95% of the doors are revolving doors.
We couldn't get over it. It was crazy. So we went on we did an architectural boat cruise, which sounds like really like, oh, you guys are very smart and into architecture.
Very fancy.
There was a bar on the bottom of the boat, and that's mainly why we went. And there was that was an awesome. I think that was like one of the most fun things we did.
I think it was highlight of the trip.
There's like this, there's a big river in Chicago, and like surrounding the river is just massive buildings. There's the Trump Tower there. There's some other ones. So we got to go on this boat, and the awesome thing about it was like this boat could hold a couple hundred people probably. Would you say?
I'd say at least 150, 200 people.
And there was maybe 15, 20 of
including
us, including us. So there was like nobody there. So it was like we could kind of walk around, do whatever we wanted. It was freezing, but we were all having a good time. It was awesome.
There was a random Asian lady who came up to us and wanted us to keep taking her photo.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She took our friend's beer and used it as a prop.
They know our friend Anthony.
Oh, yes. Anthony, the guest from the last podcast.
Yeah.
They took the Asian woman took his beer and was using it to pose as a prop in her own pictures.
Yeah, maybe we'll, and then, yeah, so she did it like 3 or 4 times, and then finally I said, oh, let's get a picture of you two together, so maybe we'll post that to the Twitter.
Yeah, we should.
Well, maybe we'll have to get confirmation from him that he'll let us post it, but...
And this random lady, if she becomes internet famous because of ScruffCast, we'll just gain a new listener.
That's it. What else? Oh, the food. The food in Chicago is out of this world. And, like, we ate a lot of deep dish pizza, but... No, that's not true. We had 2 deep dish pizzas. I think that was it. Oh, but then we had that pizza pot pie. We did go to that pizza pot pie place that we were talking about.
We follow through. That's the kind of people we are, Dan.
Yeah, we're trying.
We saw the video on Facebook.
Besides Navy Pier and the zoo and the jazz clubs, we follow through.
But
besides those places.
Those weren't our ideas. The pizza pot pie, we said we're going to do this, and we went and did it.
We did get that pizza pot pie. Yeah, because we talked about this on the park, right? We talked about this?
Yes, when we
pizza
originally
pot pie, and we were super excited
it.
about it. It was good. It wasn't as good as deep dish pizza.
I felt like it was a pot pie that was had a little pizza in it, rather than a pizza that was turned into a pot pie.
Yeah, still delicious, but
but the food there was all so good that this was second tier.
Yeah, so we had deep dish. We went to this really good Italian restaurant. I wish I had the.
I believe it's called Cortino's.
Cortino's.
Yes.
Yeah. That place was amazing. That was like Italian food and stuff. We had good meals there. What else? Well, we did some breakfast places.
Yes, we went to
Wild
Berries Pancakes and Cafe, and the pancakes were good. The cafe aspect, no bueno.
Oh, their coffee.
The coffee sucked.
Garbage, complete garbage. And then I got an espresso at the end of it too, and it tasted sour.
Maybe the coffee will be better because it's $2 for a double espresso. No,
you should have known by that price.
Yeah.
I know. I should have known. I should say. Yeah, like
all the food was very good.
All the food we had was just unbelievable. What else did we eat? And then we had another deep dish.
We had so many.
Drawing a blank
so
here.
pizza.
I don't remember.
We went for a hot chocolate at Mindy's Hot Chocolate. We went for breakfast and a hot chocolate.
Yeah, our friend in Chicago like raved about this hot chocolate, about how it like changed his life, like changed the way he viewed everything.
And I gotta say, the hot chocolate was pretty good.
It was,
but it was so rich we couldn't even finish it.
Yeah, we finished like maybe 3/4 of it, and then it was like 1/3 fudge, 2/3 hot chocolate, and then you throw a marshmallow in there.
Yeah, that last 25% of drinking the cup was the difference between diabetes and just feeling full.
Yeah,
it was insane.
It was tough. So yeah, the food just everywhere. You couldn't find a bad meal, and I think it helped that our friend's girlfriend was pretty on the ball.
Yeah,
with finding us good restaurants and whatnot. And we went to the Art Institute of Chicago. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Art Institute of Chicago. There was a lot of interesting stuff there. They had a couple Pablo Picasso paintings there. A couple of Andy Warhols.
And it's the #1 art institute in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Or it was voted like #1 art museum or something. They had a bunch of decals up on the entrance.
Yeah,
there's some cool stuff there.
It was okay. What really threw me off is when we were going into the paperweight room, like the paperweight art room.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
bowed out at that point.
It's kind of hard to get excited about paperweights, but
I thought it was a joke.
I generally enjoy museums though.
Not as big of a fan. So, but me and Anthony ended up leaving, and right across the street was Millennium Park
with the famous bean.
Yeah, with that big metallic bean or whatever it is. You've probably seen it in movies and whatnot. So we went there, and that was a really cool area, too. They had the bean there, and it's just a nice little park. And they have a huge amphitheater there. Like, a massive amphitheater with, like, a decent amount of seats and a huge grass section, which, like, that'd be a really cool place to see a concert.
Yeah, especially in the summer on a nice day. Nice view of the lake. Or, sorry, the lake. Oh, I was getting
and then it kind of spans over. There's, like, I don't think it's a highway. It's just a road. And then there's a bridge that goes over, and it goes across the other side, and there's, like... there's like a rollerblading park. There's rock climbing walls. There's a bunch of stuff there, which that was kind of neat too. Our friend, he really wanted us to see this improvised Shakespeare play, which
I gotta admit, before we went, I was kind of like,
yeah, I was kind of like, all right,
there's a hockey game on TV. We're just kind of lounging on the couch here.
Kind of want to get another deep dish.
Yeah, you know.
But he bought the tickets and forced us out, and we're extremely happy he did.
Yeah, we had a great time.
It was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the general idea is basically, it's like improv where you shout out suggestions, but they only take one suggestion at the very beginning of the show, right? And somebody yelled out, Aussie Dingles.
Yeah, Aussie Dingles. That was what they shouted out.
And these guys, there was a group of 4 or 5 guys that go, okay. And then they kind of just go up there and they improv out an entire Shakespearean play.
Yeah, a 2-act play. And
2-act play with an intermission and everything, and they wrap it all up too.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
so
really
funny because
impressive.
they end up being 6 different characters each by the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it was hilarious. I wonder if those guys do tours and stuff like that.
I wonder
Because I would see them again.
I believe it was at the IO Improv or something. But if you're ever in Chicago, I would recommend checking it out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
It was a good
awesome.
time.
Oh, and this is the last kind of really interesting thing we did. There was this tiki bar we went to, which again his girlfriend found. So what was interesting about it though is we were walking down the street and then we turned into an alley.
Yeah, just a random back alley with a couple of Walmart tiki torches lit.
Yeah,
there.
so there's 2 tiki torches sitting outside and just a bouncer outside this door. There's no signage, nothing. So whatever, we go in and we go downstairs and this is huge tiki bar. So we sit down at a booth and they had these just crazy drinks in all these cool different mugs. Maybe we can post a picture. I have a good picture of all the mugs on my phone. I'll send it to you. And yeah, there was the single skull, the double skull drinks to
it's sort of ranking the potency. So you have your average drink. Then if it was a little more potent, it had a skull. If it was even more potent, it was a double skull.
Yeah,
Which of course our friend Anthony dove right in for the double skull.
of course. I single skulled it.
As did I. And they were pretty potent. There were some insane drinks on that menu.
There was one that was, I think it was $385. It came in like a coffin thing, some coffin that fits on the table, small, and 6 people share it. They pour a whole bottle of Dom Perignon into this thing. It was
And
crazy.
there was smoke and stuff
Smoke
coming
out of it, yeah.
Which we didn't order this. We're just going based off the pictures.
Yeah.
But it was insane. The weirdest part was how unassuming it was from the outside of this back alley, and then you go down the stairs, all of a sudden you're in this cool vibing tiki bar.
Yeah, it was just a little hidden place. It was pretty neat. Oh, and one other thing. For the first time ever, we tried old fashions, the drinks, the alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
And they're terrible.
Yes, I had the bright idea of being an old fashioned, that's an old gentlemanly cocktail. Yeah, let's get one of those. And then they were brutal.
They were just so gross.
But we finished them.
We finished them. We
because
did.
they were $12 each.
Yeah, so you're not gonna not finish that, but
But
they are trash. No good. Yeah, so that was our trip to Chicago in a nutshell. Just lots of eating, lots of I don't know.
Just lots
Seeing
of eating.
things here and
we
there.
were
It was mostly just eating.
we're 80% pizza, 20% podcast host at this point.
Yeah.
I think I'm going on a 1-month pizza ban. Officially, starting now from this episode. Maybe episode 20 we can see if I've stuck to it.
Oh Jesus, I'm not gonna do that. So you're
I'm
on
eating
your
too
own.
much
there.
pizza.
I like pizza too much.
So do I. And that's the problem.
Yeah, but it was a good trip. Oh, another thing, we flew. Well, for the people who live here in the Toronto area, we flew Porter.
Yes, and we flew out of the island airport,
Yeah,
Billy Bishop.
Which was awesome. I'd say from this side of the island, this side, the mainland, from there to pretty much the gate took us, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was really easy.
It was
experience.
insane. And they serve free alcohol on the plane, which is awesome. So, super easy just to fly Porter. I would do it anywhere again.
Yeah, it was a breeze, just going through, checking our bags. Well, actually, we didn't even check bags. We just brought carry-ons. They didn't even worry about the size or anything. It was easy peasy.
Yeah, everything
And
was super
the best
easy.
part was we got some Nintendo Switch wireless going on the plane.
Oh, we did. We have Nintendo Switches. Brought them on the plane. And we were wirelessly playing
Mario Kart.
Wireless, yeah.
That was a fun time.
It was a good time. All right, but we're
Now-
gonna move on here.
Yeah,
that
now
was
if you guys are tired of hearing about us having fun, maybe it's time for you to have fun with
Yeah.
our great podcast. Then you're thinking, man, these guys are so great. Maybe I want to follow them on Twitter or send them questions on the podcast.
maybe.
Dan, how do they do that?
Well, they find us on Twitter at ScruffCast. They
Yes.
can email us at scruffcast@gmail.com. They can
Find us on YouTube
Find
by
us on YouTube.
going on YouTube and searching for us because we need more subscribers to hit that fancy youtube.com/scruffcast. So you got to search.
And you can find us on Instagram by searching the ScruffCast.
Yes, some guy already has Scruffcast.
What a bum.
But,
Okay, moving right along here. John, I'll let you take this away.
All right. So a couple weeks ago, there was a terrible tragedy here in Canada where there was a crash involving a junior hockey team's bus and a tractor trailer, and there was 29 or 30 people on board the bus, and over half the people died, and almost everybody else
they're
left
at 16 now.
left injured, and it was just terrible. It's been all over the news, and I believe they started a GoFundMe page that's raised like almost $12 million at this point.
Yeah,
it was 11.7 million.
Quick thing, they raised 12. They're keeping it open for 2 more days, so till the 18th.
Yeah,
and then they're shutting it down. They're creating a memorial instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just read that today. Thought that was kind of interesting.
And yeah, it's been a huge thing throughout all of Canada and the sports world, and I've seen many of the NHL teams have been donating their 50-50 draws. And what was interesting was actually in one of the games, in the final game or final week of the regular season, it was Chicago and Winnipeg, they all wore jerseys that said Broncos on the back as the name instead of their own names.
Right.
Because the name of the team was the Humboldt Broncos. And they all wear these Broncos jerseys, and things like this have happened before, right, where they'll wear the jerseys during warm-ups, but they actually wore them for the entire game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I
then
didn't know that.
they auctioned off all the jerseys, and the money went
awesome.
towards charity.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was
actually
bizarre that they wore them for the entire game with everybody being named the same, right, on the back of the jersey. I can imagine the play-by-play was kind of tough that day.
I'd say so. Just quickly talking about like the accident that happened. I don't want to sound like insensitive or anything, but I'm kind of shocked that such a big deal has been made of this. Like, pleasantly shocked, right? Because stuff like this happens,
and it kind of goes away quickly.
It goes away quickly, but like the amount of like support that's going on with this is insane. Like, which it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's awesome. I'm super happy that it is going this way. But like, you even got people like showing their support by like keeping hockey sticks outside on their porch. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, and you know what? I was talking to my stepdad, and he was actually telling me a buddy of his put a Team Canada hockey stick outside.
Someone stole it.
Some scumbag stole it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but anyway, last week there was what was it? I think it was Thursday of last week. There was kind of like a National Jersey Day, so it was like in support of the Broncos. People kind of were wearing jerseys. So I know like the TTC here, the Toronto Transit, all their bus drivers, subway drivers, streetcar drivers were wearing jerseys. Anthony, who's in the military, they were all wearing jerseys. Oh, John got a little something on his phone there. What was that?
It was just an email that said, "The ScruffCast is amazing." We'll have to read that one next week.
He's secretly watching the New Jersey Devils game right
fresh.
now.
No, my battery's dying.
Oh, okay. No, you lost me. I don't know where I was now.
Talking about the TTC drivers wearing subway jerseys.
Yeah, thank you.
Or
So,
subway drivers wearing jerseys.
I talked to Anthony, though, in the military, they were allowed to wear jerseys and stuff like
really?
that. Yeah, like encouraged to wear them.
So it just goes to show you how big of a deal this thing has become.
It's a big thing. People wearing jerseys. I know, like, all the governments and stuff like that, all around, we're all wearing jerseys and stuff. And then people were. Like, people wearing them in offices, kids were wearing them in schools and whatnot. But we got an article here of a 14-year-old boy who wore it was a soccer jersey that he wore to school, and the school suspended him for wearing the jersey.
Yes.
Explain a little more, John.
All right. So this happened in Quebec. A Quebec high school student who wore a jersey to school to show support for the victims of the crash says he was kicked out of class for his gesture. He was a 14-year-old. He decided to wear a red and blue soccer shirt to his high school somewhere in North Montreal on National Jersey Day to honor the 16 people killed in the crash. He said he was motivated to take part because he himself takes like a long bus ride to school, and this really could happen to anybody, right?
Yeah.
And he goes on to say, if it were to happen here, they'd probably do a movement like this, and I thought it was important to support the families. But apparently his teacher sent him to the principal's office for violating the school's dress code. So the school actually gave him a choice. They said either replace the jersey with a school-approved polo shirt, so like the school uniform, or accept a suspension from class. So the student just said, "I'm going home. I'll take a suspension." Right? And he goes on to say, "I wanted to stay loyal to my beliefs, and I wanted to support Jersey Day. It's for a good cause, and I believe it makes a difference for the families." So I kind of have to commend the student right off the bat for like sticking to his convictions and just being like, "No, I'm going home then. I'll take the suspension."
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Standing up for his beliefs.
Like, I kind of see where maybe the school's coming from. It's like, it's just this punk-ass kid just trying to get away with not wearing the uniform, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about back when you were in high school, right? Any chance you got to not wear a uniform. We went to Catholic high school, so we had
they make you wear those uniforms.
You know what I mean? But, like, I think in this case, like the kid's just wearing a sports jersey. And sure he doesn't have a hockey jersey or anything like that, but it's interesting here. Who is this who says this? I don't think it's the principal. I think it's someone from the school board. Says here, if the student had chosen to wear a Broncos sweater, we would have understood his gesture was noble. How is a kid gonna get a Broncos sweater? This was it wasn't even like an OHL team. It was like a junior A team or something like that.
Yeah, from Saskatchewan.
From Saskatchewan. Well, you think they're just selling those at your local Sport Check? Like, get it together, you stupid Quebecers. Like, you know what? I'm going to put it out there. I think Montreal and Quebec will drop it right below Buffalo.
Below Buffalo? Oh,
Buffalo's
man.
gritty and grimy, but Montreal's just scum. Like, they are just... Quebec, not just Montreal. All Quebec.
Harsh words.
Yep. I'll say it.
It's one of the school officials that said that, and they go on to say that they believe the student who apparently, and this is in quotes here, has a history of dress code violations, which, first off, that sentence right there makes it sound like he has a criminal record, right? It's, oh, why are you wearing your white shoes? You got to wear the black shoes. Anyways, they say that they think he wore the soccer jersey as a, in quotes, pretext to avoid standard attire.
Yeah, so it's kind of
right. So they think he's just some punky kid, right? And he's like, "Oh, Jersey Day, I'm just gonna wear my soccer jersey."
Yeah,
and then be like, "Oh, it's for National Jersey Day." Now that could have been the case, but I mean, I don't know. In a time like this, maybe you want to give the benefit of the doubt.
That's kind of the whole thing, right? Just
if,
okay, the kid's wearing a jersey, but like, why wouldn't? I think all schools should have taken part in that. I don't know if any schools were, and you were on vacation last week, so you wouldn't know if your school was taking part in it. But like, why not? I mean, like people who don't go to Catholics or like a school that has to wear a uniform, they can wear whatever they want.
Yeah.
So. But like even schools with uniforms, like why are you gonna get mad at the kids for just wearing a jersey? Who cares? Like the whole thing with uniforms just drives me nuts as it is.
Yeah. I think, though, if the kid was, just trying to get away with, like, oh, I'll just get to wear my other jersey and, just be like, it's for the Jersey Day, then he would have just been like, all right, I'll just put on the other shirt. Instead, he was like, no, I'll take the suspension.
Exactly.
So maybe, he is standing up for what he believes. Like,
at 14 years old,
go for this.
If someone confronts you like that, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, all right, I'll just put my shirt back on. You know what I mean? Even at his age, if I truly believed in that cause, I probably still would have put my polo on. Because I'd be afraid to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. All right. I'll put on the polo.
So, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the kid was just, I think he did the right thing.
I think so, too. I got to commend him for sticking up for his beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he ever wants to be, another third guest, and he's listening to the podcast, give us a shout, boy. And, don't remember about how we said it.
Philippe Volek.
Don't remember how we said all the rest of your province was scum.
We probably can't even understand this kid. Probably speaks French. We don't speak French.
Probably not. All right, is that enough bashing on the Quebecers here, Dan?
Well,
I'll have you know my girlfriend's actually born in Quebec.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to love this.
But she's not French-Canadian.
Oh, she just happened to be born there?
Yeah, but I think she has family there still.
I don't know.
We're talking about the Quebec natives,
Yeah, there's like a beef here in Canada, with those Quebecers. Like, they wanted to be their own country at one point, but then they weren't willing to take part of the country's debt.
Yeah, which is kind of...
Can't have your cake and eat it, too,
Exactly. And it's kind of weird because they're like, right in between a portion of the middle of the country, so then we're just going to be, like, split. Then you got to go through a country to get to another part of your other country.
Yeah, there's no way to get... Well, I guess it's kind of like the United States and Alaska.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But that...
Nobody's going to Alaska.
They bought Alaska well after their country was already...
Yeah.
Just nonsense going on in that province. Whatever.
No
It doesn't matter.
bueno.
We're moving on. Okay. So, I don't know if you all have heard, but the world is ending next Monday, April 23rd.
23rd.
You want to know why, John?
Why, Dan? I need to know.
Planet X will destroy the Earth, according to doomsday prophecies. So, I'll give you a little breakdown on Planet X from what I can remember. So, the idea of Planet X, or what is it, Nibiru? Nibiru. Apparently, it's this rogue planet that we can't see that's in our solar system. And eventually, it will pass by Earth or collide with Earth. And if it passes by Earth, it'll affect magnetic fields and this and that. And essentially, it'll just create havoc on the Earth and we'll all die. So this whole thing was created, I think it was in 1995, by a woman named Nancy something. I have a different article up here. I don't have her name on here. And she claims, first off, that she's an implant in her brain from some like Zeta. alien race. That's their name. They're the Zetas, and they've implanted this in her head, and they're giving her messages of when this is going to happen. Unfortunately, this came out in 1995, and every couple years or so, there's a new Planet X doomsday prediction. Oh, it's happening next week. Oh, actually, no, sorry, not next week. It's happening in a month. And then, it goes away for a couple years. Oh, no, now it's happening now. You know what I mean? So they pretty much just, they think the government knows about it, but they're hiding it from us. That's essentially this whole thing. So we're getting into a little more conspiracy business here again.
Yes.
John, you want to pick up the pieces of what I just spat out there?
Sure.
Wasn't much of anything, so go
I'll
ahead.
kind of collect it. It's similar to what these people are trying to say, Dan.
Okay, let's go. Let's hear it.
So apparently, noted conspiracy theorist David Mead. First off, I don't even know how do you become a noted conspiracy theorist?
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
I feel like conspiracy theories, there's so much to them. It's like you gotta you gotta just be about one conspiracy theory, How do you got time for two or three?
Yeah, you got to put all your eggs in one basket. There's no hedging your bets with
You want to be
conspiracy
Planet
theories.
X, you want to be Flat Earth, you want to be Tupac still alive. You choose one, and that's it.
Yeah. So, this noted conspiracy theorist David Mead is predicting Planet X, also known as Nibiru, will show up at the end of April, sparking an Armageddon. Show up? How? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the article goes on to say, don't worry though, because Mead also predicted Nibiru was going to hit Earth in September 2017, then in October 2017, then adjusted his timeline to November 2017, and then after missing those 3 months, he probably said, you know what, let me just take Christmas, let me relax for a bit over the winter, and then it's going to be
Come back
April.
out with it in the spring.
It's going to be April. I'm really feeling April 23rd.
But what's funny about this whole thing is because any conspiracy people kind of get a little freaked out sometimes.
Yeah, who can forget 2012 in the Mayan calendar?
Right? That was the most I don't want to even say legit because it wasn't legit, but that was actually a kind of more serious one where people are a little oh man,
I think because we were a little young when Y2K happened too, right?
Yeah,
'Cause a lot of people were worried about Y2K.
Yeah. But anyway, people have kind of NASA's kind of gotten involved and to kind of warn people hey, you know what? It's not going to happen. None of this is true. Blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah, so NASA senior space scientist David Morrison, he went out and explicitly told the Washington Post, no, there's no such thing as a planet called Nibiru. No, it's not a brown dwarf surrounded by planets, as iterations of the claim suggest. No, it's not on a collision course towards Earth. And yes, people should, in quotes, get over it. So this guy's probably frustrated from having to tell these stupid people, are you kidding me?
This guy's got an actual job to do, but now he's got to take time out of his day to tell people there's no rogue planet coming.
Yeah. Do these people not understand how big the universe is? And if the planet was going to be here in the next week, we would be able to know by now?
Yeah, we'd be able to. That's what they were saying too. We'd be able to physically see it in the sky. Apparently, they're saying I think it's 4 times the size of the Earth too.
So if it's going to be here in a week, okay? To give you some context, the moon is much smaller than the Earth, and we can clearly see that.
Yeah.
And it's 380,000 kilometers away. Okay? If this planet was 4 times bigger than the Earth, we would definitely know it's coming for us.
Yeah.
So apparently it's just going to show up. So reading from here, it all comes back to some passage in the Bible, right? This theory.
It always does, eh? Yeah. It always leads back to the Bible.
We can have a whole other episode on religion.
Yeah.
Where some passage in Revelation that says in quotes, a great sign appearing in heaven, and in quotes here, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. I don't even know what any of that means.
What does that have anything to do with a rogue planet?
Yeah.
When the Bible was written, they didn't even know anything about planets anyway.
Yeah, we were just talking about their thing and they're falling off the earth 500 years ago, let alone the Bible's written. Give me a break.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, NASA goes right out and says, and there's a statement on their website, the planet in question, Nibiru, doesn't exist, so there will be no collision.
Just flat out.
Yeah.
Nope, not happening. They say, our gravity, if this were to happen, our gravity would be changed.
Oh, yeah, because even the moon, as far away as it is, has an effect on the pole of the Earth. Yeah, it affects the tides.
Yeah, exactly. It's, I don't know, it's all this stuff is just so amusing. And there's also one of the bits of a proof that they say is that the governments know about it is that they built a telescope in Antarctica in the South Pole. And they're saying, oh, because they can only see it from the South Pole. That's why they built that telescope there. No one else can see it. And apparently NASA or the government said, like, it's actually not a telescope. It's like a radio. It's like a radio frequency thing. Mm-hmm. That was a whole bit. But they're just, the government is hiding it from us. It's just more about these crazy people who just think the government's hiding everything from us.
And let's say, I cracked the code. The government, they're hiding this planet. Okay, well, now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You going to put the planet away somehow now that the government wants the world to end? So they've been hiding the destruction?
Yeah, like, oh my God. Like, if there was a massive planet coming, we would know, and the government would have no reason not to tell us. What's so that we don't panic? Would that be the only reason? But if all of a sudden we start seeing this massive thing in the sky coming at us, I think everybody would be panicking anyway.
Oh yeah. What really kind of irks me is how can people give any sort of credence or any sort of like belief to a noted conspiracy theorist who just brings up this thing and it's like not true over and over and over and over and over?
How do people still buy into it? If the guy was wrong once, if I was a true believer in this and the guy was wrong once, I'd be like, all right. And he gives us a second one, I'd be like, okay, I'll buy it this time. Second time it's wrong, see you, buddy.
When you start talking to me about, like, there's chips implanted in your head and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's in your head, all right.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, it's just bizarre. So if the world was going to end, right, let's say this was true.
Okay.
We had about a week left. And I'm glad to know the listeners are spending their final week by listening to our sultry voices. What would you do?
Am I, like, do I have... Okay, it's like the world is ending.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
The world is ending.
David Meade, we've been fools all along. He knows what's what.
He knows. Okay. I would loot. That'd be the first thing I would do.
He'd loot.
Yeah. I'd steal a ton of stuff. Fast cars, the whole bit.
Just drive them around?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a whole... What could you do in a week? I'd probably just... No, you know what? No, I take it all back. I would just spend time with the people I loved. That was it.
That's a very nice sentiment.
That was
my
nice,
first thought was travel somewhere.
Travel.
With the people I love, of course.
No, of course.
Here, honey, I've always wanted to go to Japan, and so have you, right? Let's go.
How are you going to get to Japan?
I don't know why I gave me her voice, but... Here, let's go to Japan. Yeah, I would travel. I'd go somewhere I've always wanted to go, which was Japan, and I don't know.
How would you get there?
Just hang out. I'd fly there.
With what? You know how to fly a plane?
No, aren't they still flying planes?
No, everybody's in the same position you are. Everybody has a week to live.
I kind of thought I was like on the up and up. And
No.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows about it.
Ah, man, well, I'm stranded here.
If you know, I know. I'm telling other people, too. Eventually, everybody's going to know about it.
Well, then if I'm stranded here, man, I got to go with spending time with the people I love, looting.
All right.
Looting stuff.
We'll all loot together.
Merging both, yeah, looting.
I think that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I really don't think there'd be any way around it. It'd just go into utter chaos.
Yeah, it would. That's why I would just kind of hide away and board up the doors, lock it up, and just enjoy the last little bit. You know what I mean?
I'm interested to hear what our listeners would have to say. How they would spend their final week.
Yeah, if you guys have, tell us how you'd spend your final week. Maybe it'd be listen to the ScruffCast over and over.
Yeah, maybe. This will be 16 episodes, so you got more than 2 per day for a week. That's pretty solid.
That's not bad.
Right? So 24 hours in a day, you'd only have to listen to episode 1 12 times, episode 2 12 times, episode 3 12 times, episode 4 12 times. Then boom, you're through 2 days. You're halfway to death right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
you know what?
Email
I'll
us.
throw another one out there, too. If there's any other conspiracy stuff that anyone wants us to get into, let us know. We'll do a little research on it, and maybe one day we can do like a conspiracy like special. You know what I mean? I know we kind of talked about this last week too, right?
I wouldn't mind doing like special episodes dedicated to particular topics, but we want the listener. We want to know what the listeners like.
This is all new to us too. We don't know. What
we're only 16 episodes in, right? Email us with your ideas. We have no problem doing a one-off episode, or not even a one-off episode, but episode 17 is the episode all about GMOs or whatever it is. We're not qualified to talk about all these topics, but we're not qualified to talk about any of this stuff.
We'll just do our best.
Yeah, exactly.
We just stumble through this podcast once a week.
Yeah, haven't you guys caught on? The last 5 minutes of every episode is self-promotion.
Is this right here what we're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, be sure to email us and let us know your ideas.
Yeah. Some conspiracy stuff that could be fun. Or just if you guys have ideas for specials that you'd like us to do.
Yeah,
we'll do a whole episode on this.
Yeah, what have you liked about the podcast so far? What have you not liked? I can't imagine there's anything you wouldn't have liked, but I mean, if it's out
I
there,
might be
whatever.
last week's episode.
Maybe, because it didn't exist. But
Because Anthony was on it. And it's awesome.
Has he started listening?
That's what I'm saying. I could sit here and be like, Anthony sucked on that podcast. And he's never going to message me and be like, hey, why'd you tell me you suck? Because he's probably not listening.
Yeah, he hasn't even downloaded the episodes.
I don't even...
His own episode.
In fairness, he doesn't listen to any podcast, so it's not just us.
Still.
He's a bum, though.
We'll know when he gets to this episode because he'll tell us.
He'll make comment. So, we're definitely going to post that picture of him and the Asian woman.
Yeah,
on
take
Twitter,
that.
because he's not going to notice that either.
Yeah. Are you people following us on Twitter? Come on. At ScruffCast.
That's ScruffCast. Check us out.
Yeah, but we would appreciate your feedback on what you've liked so far and, what you would like to see, maybe that we're not doing.
And also, give us a review on iTunes. And we've said this before. You give us a review.
We put the call out there.
And we'll do any impression you want. You write down the impression, we'll do it. We'll read your review in whatever impression you want.
Yeah, maybe we have like a spot on impression of like Vince Vaughn, and you just don't know.
Yeah, maybe we don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be fun.
Well,
I might write a review on like a fake account.
It's up to the listeners. Write in with your review, and we're gonna read them.
That's it. All right. Well, I think that is the end of this episode. John, do you want to plug any more things, or have we done enough of that?
No, I believe it's time for the patented 5 minutes of self promo.
I thought we just did like 3 minutes of self promo.
Well, then we still have 2 more.
Oh, boy.
We've already asked for your reviews on iTunes. We post these videos, we post these podcasts on YouTube every week as videos. So if you go on YouTube and search for ScruffCast, they're all one word. You'll see all the videos we've posted up there. I put in some time photoshopping these thumbnails for you guys every week. The last couple weeks have been a little easier.
He's been slacking.
A little slacking Photoshop. But come on, we were gearing up for vacation. Give me a break.
You know what? Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, so if you are listening on YouTube, give us a thumb up, subscribe on there. Leave a comment. That's the biggest thing. I want to hear what you guys think. Because I know people out there are listening. We don't know what you guys are thinking.
Good or bad, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Email us. We've already said scruffcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, ScruffCast, Instagram, The ScruffCast.
And so on and so forth. Well, you know what, John? There's a reason why the people listen to us rambling on these last 5 minutes. It's for this sweet music that's about to start right now. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys, and we'll check you next week.
As I'm watching her go, all I'm thinking is, oh damn that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.